Hi everybody, it's Candy. Thank you for joining me today. I'm really excited because 100 days ago I decided to go fully raw. And for those of you who are following me on my Facebook, I have been posting affirmations along the way. And today is 100 days of being fully raw. I'm so excited. I can't say that I never thought I would be here, but I really didn't know how I was going to do it. Like most of us, I ate meat and dairy and sugar and, oh my gosh, all the garbage foods. I was addicted to candy. Halloween was always like the beginning of a really weird time, because there's Halloween and then it leads into my birthday, which is November 8th, and then it leads into Thanksgiving and then into Christmas. And it was always such a time where I would just be so into my addiction of eating sugar mostly. Sugar was my addiction. I have been vegetarian since 2001, but I was still eating a lot of dairy and processed foods and candy and all that. So I've been a high raw vegan now since June of 2013. So it's just kind of like a rebirth, when you fully become vegan. So that was that's when I became vegan, and I always wanted to be fully raw, just like fully raw Christina, but I just didn't know when I was going to be able to do that. There's so many pressures. There's family get-togethers, there's people just thinking you're crazy just being, a vegan, not touching any animal products. So going raw vegan, it took me 4.5 years to kind of get my mind to that space. Now, fully raw Christina, she did it overnight, but not all of us can do that. From what I've seen, it's very rare. So don't beat yourself up for taking so long. I mean, I see people who are a couple years in and they're like, oh, it's taking me so long. I don't, they want to be fully raw. You know what? Go at your own pace. If you're vegetarian or vegan, good for you. That's fantastic. Just challenge yourself every now and then. Maybe go on let's see, what does John Rose calls it, a solid food vacation. John Rose, if you don't know, he has a YouTube channel, and he's a man in his mid-60s that actually spotted fully raw Christina at a health food store. I believe it was Whole Foods, and talked to her, and he must have just had some magic words, because from that day on she became fully raw. So that's a true story. It's super awesome. And you can find that story on YouTube. I wish I knew what the video was, but they're like chatting together, talking about how all that happened. It's pretty interesting. It's on his page, John Rose. So anyway, so I'm 100 days fully raw, and I am so excited. I am going to celebrate by starting a 7-day fast, a solid food vacation, where I will just be juicing and doing urine therapy, which is my new thing. It's not that new, but I mean, it's pretty new to me, because I'm still learning what to do with it and the different ways of using it as a therapy. So I've been doing it since February of this year, 2017. And I really wasn't going to talk about it until after a year. I was delaying it. But this therapy makes you so in tune with your spirit guides and your angels and your higher consciousness. And it's been calling to me to come out with it. And I did do a video on it, talking about how my brother was able to get off dialysis, and how we used it for that. And I got the video's only been up, well, it's been up for like a few weeks, I think. and it already has 1,000 hits. So that pretty much tells me that, I need to keep talking about it. It's just kind of one of those subjects that's really difficult. Like, not everybody wants to be known as the urine therapy person, but I'm one of them. It's a calling. It's a spiritual practice more than it is anything else. Just like the raw foods, because it goes in and it heals your body and so amazingly. My gosh, I mean, my skin is just, I am doing raw foods, of course, and I was high raw before, this day 100 of being fully raw, which means I was 80% or more. There were times where I went months of being, I'd say 95% raw. But I never was able to actually put 100 days together of fully raw, and I'm so proud of myself, and I'm so blessed and thankful that I have I call them my team. I have my team working for me on the other side to help me get healed and, to be able to help others to heal. So I hope that by you watching my journey, maybe you might get excited about going fully raw or even going high raw or whatever. Set your goals high. Go for the gold. I mean, and just start somewhere. This channel is raw for beginners. So I know a lot of you are just starting out, but I just want to, share my story and let you know that just because you're a beginner, it doesn't mean that you can't actually get there. I mean, I'm just thrilled. I can't believe I'm fully raw and I have no cravings for anything. It's a miracle. And, I really believe that because I incorporated this urine therapy back in February, that it has helped me because I've done a lot of research on urine therapy, and I've listened a lot to Andrew Norton Weber, and he talks about how the urine, the magic, I don't even know. You have to just listen to how he explains it, because I'm not really the best in explaining it, but there's just this magic, this powerful magic that speaks to our bodies and lets us know when, how, because I'm an overeater. I eat, I overeat. And this urine therapy helps me to manage what I'm eating. It's just so powerful. So if you're an overeater and a sugar addict and an addict of any sort, I just highly recommend you trying urine therapy because it will help you. It'll help you with anything. I mean, for heaven's sakes, if you're on dialysis, okay, here's something I wanted to share. If you're on dialysis and you are not urinating anymore, and you're married or you have children or a family member who will share their urine with you. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds, disgusting. Believe me, it does to me too. But if you want to get off dialysis, you have to do this. You have to drink urine. And if you can't produce your own, do it. I mean, just ask somebody to help you with it. It's so important. It's just so important. So it'll really help to have a family member that you live with so that you can do this on a daily basis. And do your research. Don't just take my word for it. I highly, highly recommend you do your research, because in that way you will be more convinced about, the healing benefits of using urine therapy. And of course, you want to incorporate as many raw foods as you can. So anyway, I'm going on a 7 days. So today, November 1st through the 7th, I'm going on a solid food vacation, otherwise known as a juice fast, and a urine fast. So I will be drinking my urine. I know it's so crazy, but it's so important. It's so healing. We can actually we can actually live off our urine if it ever comes down to that. So, you know, for those of you who are prepping and, you know, you're getting your homes off grid and you're, you know, planting your trees and everything, that's fantastic. But if the shit ever hits the fan and, you know, anything can happen. I mean, you know, anything can happen to your land and to your food and everything. So I just want you to know that you can live off your urine if it ever comes down to that. There are people who have survived in war times where they were buried under rubble, and before they could be saved, you know, they were drinking their urine, and they're the ones that made it out. So it is so important, and I highly recommend you looking into it. And I just want to say thank you so much for, you know, trusting in me and having, you know, tuning in to listen to what I'm doing here, this experiment that I'm doing. You know, my birthday is on the 8th, so this 7-day fast is going to be a birthday gift to myself. And I'll be turning 52, and this is going to be a, you know, it's just such a wonderful time. Thank you all for joining me, and I appreciate you subscribing and, you know, liking and sharing what I'm doing here. You know, I'm all about health, and it's just, you know, it's so important to get our health in order so that we can be happy and enjoy this life and be mobile. I sprained my ankle the other day. We had a Halloween party, and I called on my Facebook friends to pray for me, which I don't do very often. And then I prayed, and you know what? I healed overnight. My ankle was so swollen, and it was painful. It was so painful. I couldn't even sleep. But I asked my guides, my angels, my helpers on the other side, I called them in to heal me, and they did, and your prayers, and oh my gosh, miracles happen all the time. It's just such a wonderful, wonderful life, and so I wish you all the best, and I love you all. Let me show you my shirt. I love all of you. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day. Bye.